After 8 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. It is May the 21st. What is happening? We are almost to June. I got to pay my car. How you doing? Good morning, everybody. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, hopefully getting your day started off on the right note. A lovely start to our morning, but we are entering into a bit of a dry stretch. One of the top two things we're having to worry about. Not even worry about it. Just watch. We'll track that for you. And then, because we're not getting any cooling rains or limited cooling rains, that means it's about to get hot, my friends. Yeah, temperatures are going to be climbing. We'll be taking a look at all that in just a couple of minutes' time. But first, let's look outside, see what's doing on our Tower Cam network. There's a live look. Swan Dolphin Riviera Resort there, the Skyliner. It's a beautiful morning over at the tourist district over at Disney. There's a look at the Orlando International Airport. Beautiful, beautiful morning. Let's take a look at downtown. Couple of clouds. That's not too bad, right? Here's a live look from our other downtown Tower Cam, looking at kind of like the Lake Ivanhoe area. Not too much of a problem. The WESH 2 first warning live Doppler radar tower looking great this morning. Let's take you over to Brevard County, see what's doing. Port Canaveral. Oh, man, it's so pretty over there. It's so pretty. I love it. All right, Kennedy Space Center, see what's doing. Yeah, looking nice. And last but not least, we've got New Smyrna Beach. The Daytona Tower Cam, I don't have directly coming into the weather computer, so I need to figure that one out. But that's okay. Either way, New Smyrna Beach is looking great. Oh, I forgot out west. Hold on. Titusville, looking good. Ocala. There. Oh, that's perfection. That's a clear sky. That's a clear sky if I ever saw one. First warning, live Doppler radar. Scanning around. Not tracking anything over top of us. There is some rain off the shoreline here. Definitely saw those clouds out there. Looking good, though, right? Not a big problem whatsoever. Temperatures out the door, upper 60s, lower 70s. It's a perfect morning. Forecast through the day today brings those temperatures back up a little bit. 87 to 1 p.m., 90 degrees, our 3 o'clock temperature, and a 20% chance of a few passing showers. Now, I do want to come back to the live temperature map for a moment. Because we've got some 60s on there, but the dew point temperatures are feeling fantastic, right? It's 71 in Orlando. The dew point temperature, though, 68. With dew points in the 60s, it feels just a little bit better, right? We're not quite to that blasting summer kind of forecast just yet. Comfy and pleasant on the muggy meter the next couple of days, so we're doing great things here. We're doing great things. Satellite and radar, pretty quiet. You've got some of those showers. May see one or two of those try to sneak on in. So we're going to keep the opportunity for a few sprinkles today. Let's take a look at Futurecast. See what's doing here. And yeah, there's the offshore stuff. Kind of hangs out. Doesn't really move a ton, right? May see some of those sprinkles sparked up because of those offshore showers. Otherwise, today, rain coverage is actually pretty low overall for the day. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a really nice forecast. In terms of the rain opportunities, kind of a lowish chance. It's going to be in the interior spots today. So, there's that. Debbie says allergies. Eric, allergies. What, Debbie, what? The pollen count actually is fairly low. It doesn't look too bad. You know? I don't know. Call me crazy. Don't call me crazy. So a couple of sprinkles here or there these next couple of days. Otherwise, we're actually looking to be in a nice and fairly dry stretch. Let's take a look at the rain chances here over the next couple of days. Not much. We're looking at a 20% chance today. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we actually dry things out, which then at least brings up the discussion of the drought monitor. Abnormally dry through much of the metro, into a moderate drought back over to Brevard County, and then into South Florida, kind of a decent stretch of area under that moderate drought. So there's that. The Keach-Byram Drought Index, we use this a lot to kind of just see where we're at. And we're starting to see more and more of these counties coming alive in terms of these greenish shades. Brevard, Osceola, Seminole kind of sneaking in. Soil is super moist north and west of town, but the further kind of south and east you go, the drier the soil is, and that gets to be an issue. Now, at least the dew points are high enough. The relative humidity, high enough. We're not really looking at a big fire concern. When we look to the fire danger index for the day, it's low. So that's good. We don't need to deal with anything else. But it's at least worth mentioning, right? It's at least worth having the discussion. So we're definitely dry. We're definitely, continuing that stretch. Looking at the forecast, no storm systems in the area, no cold fronts, but by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we just start building that heat up and up and up and up. So for our Memorial Day weekend, all right, the unofficial start of summer, first off, look at the temperatures. Then we can look at the rest, right? So in terms of temperatures, mid-90s is where we're heading. Huh? Yeah, it's going to be hot. Then only an isolated mention of a shower. That's literally all we've got. And that's on Memorial Day Monday. So building into the actual Monday forecast, it's going to be blazing hot with only the mention of a shower. These next couple of days are going to be hot. So for planning purposes, these next couple of days, early week, not bad. But by this weekend into early next week, we're definitely getting into record possible territory. So for example, and we looked at Friday yesterday on Coffee Talk. Let's just update the numbers for Friday. It's at least going to be the next day where we could be talking about some record heat. Orlando, a couple of degrees away. Sanford, I don't expect there to be a record, but Leesburg, we're going to be awful close. So Orlando and Leesburg, I think we're going to be into record watch, if you will. But really, when you compare forecast temperatures to records, we're going to be in the ballpark through the weekend. Okay, it's a holiday weekend. We all know, like for example, for my son who's in kindergarten, it's his, Friday's last day of school, and then it's summer vacation. What better way to enter summer vacation than get hot as blazes, right? I suppose. There it is. So water parks, pool, all of those things. Just be ready for it, and you'll be good to go. Speaking of the pool, today, if you're wanting to head into the pool forecast, looking great. Lots of sunshine, fairly dry conditions. If you're heading out to the water parks today, Volcano Bay, for example, is looking good. It's going to be a toasty one. Heading out to the theme parks, right? Universal Studios looking fantastic. An isolated shower, maybe a thunder shower. But the big story the next couple of days is going to be the building heat from the upper 80s, lower 90s to the mid 90s. All right, so that's where we're at next couple of days. Questions, comments, concerns? How we doing so far? We good? Hazel, do you see a wildfire in the Scottsmore Mims area? There's heavy smoke. Let's look. Fire. Oh, I forgot. They changed their website, so I have to go to the new website. Active fire. I accept. Where did you say it was? Scottsmore. So I see. All right, so let's do this. Let's just look and see our wind direction. All right. Okay. All right, so here's the wind direction. That makes sense. All right, so there are a few fires in Volusia County right now. I mean, I'm just, this is, rough cut, but basically there's a fire like right here. And then there's another fire like right here. The southern one, the Sandy Drain fire, is 550 acres. But that would be blowing the smoke your direction. All right. And then the North Lake North Ave Lake Helen fire, it popped up a couple of days ago, but they haven't updated anything. But yeah, there's definitely one. It was updated at 1 o'clock this morning, a 550-acre fire. And with that northwesterly breeze, it's blowing the smoke in. So it's called the Sandy Drain Fire. Okay? Yeah. So there's your answer, Hazel. I'm glad that you reported that. Let's look at the visibilities. I haven't seen any indication of, like, significant lowerings. Yeah, not too bad. All right, I don't even know if our Futurecast is modeling any of that smoke. Yeah, I mean, it's trying to show some of it there, but nothing too wild. It's still showing it, though, so at least there's that. But that at least gives you an idea. Actually, that's interesting to me, though, right? Like, if you look... So this is our Futurecast kind of smoke product, okay? And so if you look, it's showing the smoke from the fire, and you can kind of see where it's modeling that smoke plume heading into the Scottsmore area. So there's your sign right there. Kind of interesting, right? Modeling is unbelievable. It's guidance, not gospel, Hazel, but it's still pretty amazing. Gabby, why do I feel like the years we have been in drier and crazy force during hurricane season? Well, think about 98. Did we get slammed with a bunch of hurricanes in 98? Did we? Do you recall a hurricane hitting us in 98? I don't think that there's any significant correlation. Cindy, the smoke could be causing the allergies. I know there was smoke in my area last night. It was bad, yeah. Isn't that amazing, though, to be able to see that imagery, right? Stephen, they're giving fires names now. Well, the Florida Forest Service always has, as long as I've known. Mickey says, that makes sense with the Volusia fires. I was thinking it could be the Mexico fires that were blowing smoke over South Florida last week. No, this is much more isolated. But it's interesting, right? It's interesting to note that's kind of where we're at. So, yeah, a little bit of a smoke plume down there blowing from Volusia into Brevard County. Now, talking about the drier years and hurricane season, let's do this. Let's file. I'm going to make it's not going to be a pretty graphic. Actually, let's do a default Earth. I'm going to build this completely off the cuff. All right. Add tropical historic tracks. So let's look. I mean, like, conceivably, the driest season would be 98. That was the latest onset of the rainy season. So I'm just going to put all of the 1998 storm tracks on. 1998 through 1998. All right. There is the 98 storm tracks. Color lines by storm, annotation, and let's just use a reveal is fine. Reveal duration. There we go. All right. So the one storm, so you've got Earl. So let's just look at Florida, for example. This is 98. All right. So you've got Earl made landfall in the Panhandle. Bonnie, I mean, if you remember Bonnie, yeah, that was a good one. George was a close one to Florida in 98. And then Mitch making landfall in southwest Florida. Yeah. And then kind of looping around. So that was 98. So what would you say that was a bad year for us locally? I mean, Florida got hit a couple of times, but I wouldn't say that that's like a particularly bad year. 98 was the latest onset of the wet season. Proof is in the pudding, right? Onset was in July. I don't think we're there yet. Just had a cold front move through. So yeah. Now for the year, when we look at our rainfall deficit numbers, here's where we're at. Okay. We're 4 inches behind in Orlando, 3 inches behind in Sanford, 4 inches surplus in Leesburg. Holy cannoli. Yeah, so I mean, we're definitely dry. Now, if you've watched for a while, you know we issue our own hurricane season forecast. I've been doing it for a few years. You can get all of the data for it by heading to wesh.com/hurricane forecast. But the next part of the weather pattern that we're watching is going to be this kind of panhandle / South Florida area. It's a really complex part of the pattern. May 23rd through the 28th. That's when that pattern times out. So let's just get an eyeball on the latest GFS model data. So we've kind of on the 22nd, there's low pressure around Florida. Nothing significant, but it's there. And then the model's kind of popping something up east of us. But look around Florida in that time frame too. You see that it's like firing up an area of low pressure? You see that? See how there's little spokes of energy around there? See, that area east of us, to me, is interesting. But look right over the peninsula. It's trying to close off a little low. You see that? Like, it's trying to do something. 23rd through the 28th. I mean, that's the 27th, so it's in the time frame. Jeannie Rowan says, I'm confused because Google says there were a lot of named storms in 98. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, look at that little thing. Interesting little feature. So you've got like a bigger area east, but then the GFS is trying to sniff something out over Florida. That makes sense. Interesting. I don't believe the GFS anymore, Steven says. Well, it's important to look at model data and to understand computer models are guidance, not gospel, right? Susan's asking, when we start with hurricanes, are you and Jeremy going to have special talks again? Oh, yeah. Tuesdays tracking the tropics at 10 a.m. Good times. Look at you around the 29th. I think the GFS is trying to smell something. Interesting. We'll see. Look, we'll see how this plays out. And then see there, that's June 6th. That is particularly interesting to me because we've got another part of the cycling weather pattern coming up the first week of June. So that's June 6th. Something trying to bubble up in the Caribbean. Look at our long-range forecast, June 6th through the 10th in the Panhandle. There you go. Could that be it? I guess we could look at the CFS. Pivotal Weather CFS. All right, so pivotalweather.com is the website. Give me a second. I'll get it plugged in. Pivotal Weather's the website. Let me turn it on. All right. Pivotal Weather. So this is Pivotal Weather. Oh my goodness, Pivotal Weather. Pivotal Weather CFS. Give me a second and I will. All right. So the CFS is just like a super long model. It goes way out there. I'm just looking. So there's that like little area of low pressure out east. But it's trying to fire something up around South Florida that's June the 3rd. I'm just looking. I'm just looking to see. I haven't seen this in a while. It's June the 12th. Something sloppy mess around Florida. You see that? That's the 14th and the 15th. Nothing crazy. I'm just looking. Don't judge me, y'all. This is like one of the things we do to look way out. So it's interesting. So anyway, GFS was kind of trying to show a little something around the first week in June there. That's Thursday, June 6th. Let's go back a model run. Yeah, kind of backs off on it. Curious what going back a model run looks like for Florida here. Something east. See, it's trying to do something over Florida there too. There's something east, and then it's like anomalously lowering pressure over Florida. I'll be really interested to see how this plays out. Remember, guidance, not gospel on computer models, so it's giving indicators, and you just kind of have to wait and see how it plays out. All right, let's look at the European, see what the European's doing. I did take out the trash. I'm like, I hear the fire, or not the fire truck. I hear the trash truck outside. So it's like, did I remember? I did. All right. European. All right. So it's trying to drop the pressures out east of us. There's that. Doesn't really show anything. I mean, it's, maybe is that sea breeze activity, And then that moves out. Let's look at the ensemble control. So the European is trying to lower pressures around June, but it's not getting into any specificity there. Let's switch over to the European AI model. So there's something east of Florida popping up. Nothing crazy. Okay. We'll see. Listen, the fun of hurricane season. The fun of hurricane season is watching model runs, right? The fun of hurricane season is knowing the patterns using our long range forecasting. Let's look at the ensembles. All right, so got some ensemble support for something east of Florida. Makes sense, right? Couple of different ensembles trying to show that, and then something in the Caribbean. Look at that, June 3rd. Couple of ensembles there around June 3rd trying to throw something from the Caribbean up. That's the GFS. We come over to the European ensemble. Stuff out east, that's fine. Now, notice bottom left corner. I don't even know if you can see it there. Bottom left corner there, stuff in the Pacific. The Pacific hasn't really gotten going yet, so we've got a couple of things there as well. And then the European trying to throw a couple little things in the Caribbean, a couple of at least ensemble members there toward the beginning of June. So nothing crazy, but we're starting to see some hints. And you just use hints as what they are. They're just hints. But we've got our hurricane season forecast published. You can review it on your leisure, wesh.com/hurricane forecast. I encourage you to do it. Check it out. I'm not 100% right. Nobody's 100% right, but we put out our seasonal forecast, and it's good to review. It's good to kind of get an idea of what we're thinking, what Colorado State is thinking, all of that fun stuff. Joanna's asking, when is the Wesh Hurricane Special? No clue. Let me text. Hey, love, people on Coffee Talk are asking when the Hurricane Special is airing, period. I have no idea, period. Por favor, assistance, question mark? All right. I have asked the special projects producer. She's the one that does them. So we'll check that out. If she texts back, Joanne, I'll let you know. David, my grandson graduation from Lake Howell High School at UCF today. Oh, man. Do I remember my graduation from Lake Howell? Whew. But it was at the TD Waterhouse Center. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right. Well, at least it's a good graduation forecast. We got that going for us. Tony mentioned Saharan dust. When is it heading our way? Oh, my gosh. You're going to make me look up the SAL. Hold on. So, I mean, it's already out there in the Atlantic Basin. You can see it kind of down in the open Atlantic. Now, here's the computer model for Saharan air layer. Give it a second. It's got to load. I haven't pulled this up in a minute, so it's got to go get the data. All right. So we'll get a little bit into South Florida by Friday. There's another big thrust of it, though. You can see it there into the Caribbean. So it doesn't look like a ton's going to be moving to us, but into this weekend, South Florida may get a little bit of it. And then look at that thing. It's just starting off of the Saharan, but like, look at that taking over the Atlantic and then thrusting into the Caribbean. I mean, that's squashing things. And I would add, like, for anyone that says, like, well, the water temperatures are so boiling, we're going to have 1,000 hurricanes. It's like, the water temperatures are not the only thing that play in. You know, water temperatures are hot. You got to have more than just hot water. So, anyway, I can't even believe we're less than 2 weeks away from the start of hurricane season. Yeesh. Good question. Are you guys using AI for weather forecasting? Models are starting to work some AI in. It's one of those things. We have to start slow and work into it. Taylor, I got super sunburnt before my graduation. I had a sleeveless dress. My gown was so scratchy. It hurt my shirt. Ugh, that's never fun. That's never fun. Bada bing, it's dusty. Yep. Deborah, what does the Saharan dust do to our weather? It's a good question. So, dust particles in the atmosphere dry the atmosphere. So what you end up with is lowered rain chances, unbelievable sunrise, sunset. And it kind of just squashes hurricanes, right? And I would just add that it's good. We don't like hurricanes. All right, Marcy responded. The WESH 2 hurricane season, surviving the season special, June 5th at 8 p.m. Thank you. All right. Yeah. June 5th at 8 p.m. I don't know if we're streaming it or not, but if we do, I'll try and stream it on my page as well. Yeah. Oh, I cannot believe we're already to hurricane season. I'm starting to check those models every day, every run. It's fun. Tropical meteorology is what got me into weather. So that's fun. Mr. Mike! Good to meet you finally at the GHC. Yeah, it was good to meet you too. We had Mike on Coffee Talk, and we got a chance to run into each other and have a nice little chat down in West Palm. So that was fun. Good to meet you, bud. He's a good guy. Steven says, still waiting on a hurricane. Steven. Let's see this year's numbers or names. What is this year? 2024? Here's this year's storm names. Is there a hurricane, Steven? Survey says no. Oh, man. Poor Steven. Oh, man. How funny. Colin says, just stumbled upon this guy. What's up, man? Man, y'all's forecast sounds significantly different than ours in Oklahoma. Our Oklahoma weatherman talking about not dying, and here y'all making dust sound significant. Well, I've worked with Oklahoma City meteorologists for many, many years now. I would go on to say, when you're in tornado coverage, yeah, we're going to be talking about not dying too. Right now we're talking about the tropics, and dust does play into it. So there it is. There it is. I mean, hurricanes are bad other than when we need a drought buster. Tropical systems are essential. Well, our climate, Mickey brings up a good point. Our climate depends on at least one tropical system impacting Florida. We need that rainfall. We don't necessarily need Noah's Ark type rain, but our climate depends on it. Kelly says, I just want the graphic with Hurricane Tony Manalfi. Well, there is the supplemental list of hurricane names. What do we have? We have an Orlando. We have a Heath. We have a Foster. So no Tony there. But there is a Tony on the main list. If we get to Hurricane Tony, that thing's going to be a real punk. It's going to be annoying. It's going to be a sweetheart, but he's going to be annoying. I just tell you right now. Hurricane Tony. And my mother, feisty thing. My mother's name is Francine. So I can tell you right now, if we get into a Hurricane Francine, that thing's going to be a pain in the tuchus. It's going to have heart, but it's going to be a pain in the tuchus. Diane, when do you start back up with Jeremy? When is it? Is it next week? Are we starting it? Stand by. Checking. Not next week. The following week. So what? Is it going to be June the 4th? June the 4th, I guess. There you go. June the 4th. Gail says, there will never be a gale hurricane because I come with all storms. That's too funny. Gale force. Now let's check in the weather with gale force. Gale. Anyway. Funny. But not a Hurricane Debbie. That will be a brief. There was a Hurricane Debbie. I don't know if it's a retired name or not. Debbie, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Annie says, strange I can't reply on the comments. I see you there. Tammy says, last year, Tropical Storm Tammy just kind of wandered around. No clear direction. Seemed accurate. Dead. Nothing to say to that. Nothing. All right. So, back home from the tropics. Thankfully, we do not have any trouble out there. I'm not going to read that out loud, Rita. I'm just going to laugh internally. Lots of sunshine for the next 7 days. We're just going to start bringing up those temperatures just a little bit. Mid-90s late this week into the weekend. Memorial Day weekend. It's going to get hot. Going to be dry. Unofficial start of summer. But also, and you know I always say this, let us never forget why there is a Memorial Day. So heading into this holiday weekend where we can spend time with our family, let's remember those that cannot. Let's remember those that are not able to. And let's give memorial mentality to that. Let's remember all of that. So that's all. That's all. Soapbox moment. That's okay. That's okay. This year we have Hurricane Chris followed by a Debbie, a 1-2 punch. There you go. There you go. No matter what, apparently our Coffee Talk group will have fun with hurricanes. Listen, it's kind of like parenting. If you don't laugh, you cry. I see no difference in hurricane season, right? If you don't laugh, you cry. So let's all laugh together. Does that work? All right. It's 8:33. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I appreciate your time. Appreciate your interactivity. It makes this so fun for me, and I hope that it's a little fun for you as well. We'll be tracking the tropics over the next couple of months. It's more than just hot water, though. You're going to hear a lot of people talking about hot water. Why haven't we had hurricanes yet? Because it's more than hot water. Water out there is boiling hot. It takes more than that. So we'll be watching, following the model trends, the dynamics. We'll be going over it together. And I'm going to dust off the term. We're going to go over the tropics in a no-hype scenario. We'll look at data together. So come this season, we'll get through all of it, right? God, I can't believe we're only just a couple of days away. All right. Thank you all so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I'm going to go spend time with Mom. I'll see y'all later.